Hello everyone, welcome to Cellopedia, this is Maxim. If you are a cellist with smaller hands, you might be wondering if cello is a right instrument for you. You might be looking at other cellists who seem to be able to cover half of the fingerboard without making a shift. And you start thinking, well, I will never be able to do that. And this is true. But what else is true is that no matter how big or small your hands are, you need to learn to use them right. In this video, we'll explore effective strategies to help you to play with ease, comfort, and most importantly, with joy. Let's tune and get to work. Proper positioning is the key for good cello playing, and it's even more important for people with smaller hands. When I say positioning, I am referring to three key areas: the arm, the hand, and the fingers. Your arm position should allow the fingers to come down on the fingerboard vertically. Try to avoid excessive lifting your elbow or shoulder or having it in opposite, very low position, because those extremes will cause excessive tension and loss of accuracy. Your hand position should be relaxed and rounded. Imagine keeping something round, like a tennis ball, and that will allow you to relax all the muscles you are not currently using to play the note. I like to think I'm lazy when I'm playing cello. And that doesn't mean that I don't like to work. The point is that I'm only using the muscles which are directly affecting my technique, allowing other muscles to be at rest. And now let's talk about fingers position. Try to keep your fingers round. Imagine they just continue the curve of your hand. And that will allow you to press on the string vertically. That will minimize all the strain your knuckles will have to get. Now, if we put it all together, the proper arm position, hand position, and fingers, we will be able to play in first position like this. And this was just the very first step, very important but fairly basic. Now let's add few more things to pay attention to. Here comes the thumb. Our thumb job is extremely important considering left-hand technique. It helps your fingers to be balanced and acts as a pivot point around which you move from one position to another. As you play, the position of your thumb has to be adjusted according to position of your other fingers, especially when it comes to extensions or shifts. For cellists with smaller hands, it's extremely important to pay a lot of attention to flexibility of their thumb. Being able to flex your thumb and control its position will allow you to bring it up a bit closer to the fingerboard. That will allow you to extend the reach of other fingers. When we get frustrated with the way our left hand works, we tend to tense up, and then ultimately we develop very strong grip. And this grip will not allow us to feel the flexibility of the thumb. Try to think from the other end. No matter what, your goal is to reach the higher note. And if you feel that will require for your thumb to move up and down, not just this direction, but this direction. That might help you to come up with quite a unique position of your left hand, which might not look similar to what other cellists with bigger hands do. But that position will help you to play better and succeed. Now, after we talked about thumb flexibility, we can naturally move to extensions and shifts. Playing cello requires us to learn the way to make extensions. This skill is quite unique from person to person. What's common is that when you have to extend your fourth finger, the third and second fingers will have to follow. Effectively, you make an extension between the first and second finger. If you do that by allowing your thumb to follow your hand and also allowing yourself to turn your hand a little bit towards the fourth finger, this extension will be way more efficient and will require far less work to do. The same is true when you have to extend your first finger. You can allow your thumb to move at least a little bit, and also you can turn your hand towards the first finger, even though that will make your pinky to be at disadvantage. But it's very rarely when you have to use extended first finger and pinky right away, one after another. Once you're done with extension, try to think if you could actually return your hand in a normal position. Sometimes we forget about this and keep playing, keeping one or more fingers in extended position. And very soon our fingers will feel strained. You will feel sore muscles. And that is something we have to be very careful with. Playing with sore muscles is not something which you have to tolerate. It will not make you tough. It will not make your muscles to be stronger. Quite opposite. It is extremely dangerous, and many professional musicians are paying very high price for an efficient technique they developed when they were younger. One more time, simple rule. Done with extension, return to the normal position. One of the ways to avoid excessive strain on your fingers is to make a shift rather than making an extension. It is always possible to find an alternative fingering. And once you learn making those extra shifts with a relaxed thumb and your hand, then it will definitely feel like your artistic choice rather than something you just have to do to compensate for your smaller hands. Now let's talk about forearm rotation. Extremely powerful technique you can use to help yourself to reach a note. When you play in the cello, the forearm rotation refers to pivoting your forearm around your elbow. This movement is similar to turning a doorknob, where forearm, not your hand or fingers, is doing most of the work. With smaller fingers, sometimes it might feel that some of the notes are just out of reach, and this is when forearm rotation comes to your help. By rotating your forearm, you effectively extending your fingers, allowing yourself to reach the notes without much of the effort. And it also helps you to reach the notes across the fingerboard. Say, when you have to switch from A string to G string and reach the note in extended position. The beauty of cello playing is that it's not the one-size-fits-all situation. You always have a chance to adjust your technique, and that means then you have to pay attention to your thumb, to the way your hand is positioned, the way you keep fingers, the way you rotate your forearm, and you can also try to choose the cello which would work the best for you. Sometimes it's possible to find a cello which is just slightly smaller than a full size. It's called 7/8 size. This cello has a bit smaller distances between the notes. This way you will not be forced to extend your fingers as much as playing using regular full-size cello. 7/8 size cello usually makes a bit quieter sound. There is a little bit less depth in it. This way it's usually more suitable to play chamber music. But for most of the cellists, it might be exactly what you need to accomplish. It's also harder to find 7/8 size cello. It usually has to be custom made. That will make it more expensive than regular size cello. Sometimes I hear an advice to use 3/4 size cello, but honestly I would like to discourage you from doing so. 3/4 size cello would be a good choice for a young person, but for an adult, using this kind of cello be very limiting. 3/4 size cello will never help you to make a real cello sound. And this kind of limitation will deprive you from enjoying playing cello. And at some point it might even make you to stop playing it altogether. I would like to encourage you to keep playing, to find the best technique to accommodate your hands. From my personal experience, I can tell you that I met and heard many wonderful cellists who are quite short and have very small hands. Yet, it was quite clear that they developed very special technique. But I could only see that when I would just listen to them with my eyes closed. I would never guess that there is a tiny person playing cello, not somebody who is 6 feet tall. If you made it that far, you might benefit from checking out my Udemy courses. In those courses, I share many tips about cello technique, and we learn how to work on scales, etudes, and some of the best cello music selections like G Major Suite by Johann Sebastian Bach. You will find a link in the description with a special discount for Cellopedia audience. And the last thing I would like to talk about, which perhaps most important, you need to spend time practicing, but you have to be very careful with your hands. Once you feel that your fingers are sore because of overstretching, stop for a few seconds or a minute. Let your fingers to recover. Playing with pain is not good. You are not supposed to be tough this way. You are not running sprint. You are doing marathon. You want to play your cello for many years to come. And being careful with your hands is one of the most important things you need to think about. Always start your practicing with stretching. Think about the way you breathe. So every part of your body is relaxed. And then start playing with something which is easy for you. It could be easy scale, or warm-up exercise, or a passage we learned long time ago. Few minutes later, you feel you warmed up, then deal with more difficult music. When you start doing it, always do it in a slower tempo. Look at your left hand, right hand. Make sure that the position is correct. And then get used to do it right in a slower tempo. And only then try to do it in more challenging way. Made a mistake, don't get frustrated. Go back to slower tempo. Do it several times, take a break, and get back to work. And this is the hidden part of the iceberg. Nobody can see how concert cellists are practicing, but we see the result, and we want to copy that. And we are impatient, and our cello journey stops right there. I hope you will continue playing cello. I hope you learned something new today. Please come back to Cellopedia and we will learn something new.